Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. Welcome back to PM in the AM, a comedy podcast designed for listeners of all ages. The show where we take a deep dive into hilarious internet topics, including making brackets, doing some tier lists, finding hilarious purchasable items, and insane news stories. The goal of this show is to bring you a half hour of humor and just spread a little positivity. My name is Porter McNeely, and I am joined by co-host Blake Bushman, and we are excited to bring you the next half hour of humor. Blake, how's it going this week?
I'm great, man. It's good. I just had an update on my laptop to get this thing started, and it took about 3.5 years to do. So
honestly, classic. I'm not sure the last time we've gone and just set this up and it just runs smoothly. Like, to get the videos is we have to go through so much, but it's definitely worth it, and we're grateful for all the growth that our show has had.
Yeah. No, I mean, we appreciate everybody sticking with us. We know it's not always, it doesn't always go how we would like it to, but every week you guys show up, so it's great.
Yeah, and shout out to Blake's original HP laptop from 2004. It's still doing a great job, and we appreciate the effort it puts in weekly to fire up and run the show on it. So
yeah, if you hear whirring in the background, that's what it is. It's always just my laptop cranking it all cylinders. The keyboard doesn't work anymore.
It's not the heater, it's the laptop fan trying to cool that thing off from lava hot temperatures.
Right.
But no, I've definitely got the same problem. If we ever blow this show up somehow, the first thing we're going to do is me and Blake are going to get some nice laptops on the
tax write-off.
Long ways to go there.
So. We'll call it a business expense.
Absolutely. So that's a little incentive for you guys to share the show with a friend so that we can spread this word a little bit better and maybe eventually upgrade our systems here. But Blake, I want to introduce the show a little bit, and then we've got another Morning Crew review this week coming up first. And then we're going to get into a listener submitted question that's awesome, and I've got a great story for that. And then we are going to be doing a morning drive debate bracket segment where we are going to be drafting the worst historical figures to go on a road trip with. And so, I mean, this was more difficult, and I actually had to do some kind of reasoning behind my picks. But yeah, I'm definitely really excited for that. But before we get into the review, Blake, I just wanted to say to the listeners, we are going to be out of town. We're going to be in Phoenix next week. We're still going to have an episode for you guys, hopefully, if everything goes well. But we just want to know, is there any live content that you guys would want us to do? Anything you want us to film, while we're on vacation? Obviously, something kind of short because we're going to be busy. But if you guys have any ideas for us, any suggestions that we should do while we're in Phoenix, that would be fun. Hit us up. Let us know. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is we spend time together when we can go out on a dinner date, but this will be a time that we actually can, hopefully set aside some time to make some content for you guys. So hopefully we can get something good out to you. If not, we'll blame it on technical difficulties because we're still trying to figure that out.
I was going to say we'll blame it on laziness because we'll probably just be lounging by the pool the entire time.
I got the review that we got in for us, the Morning Crew review that I'm going to read. I'm excited about this one because the guy's name is, I hope it's his real name. It's super interesting. This one comes in from John Doerr Smithenstein, which I love. Doerr is the middle name. I don't want to make that. And then Smithenstein is his last name. So shout out to you, just so I have some ammunition against
5 stars.
Porter.
I like you guys. I love the show. Anything
I
to make
you
me laugh
deserves 5 stars. I found you on Twitter.
Oh,
Thanks for the funny. John from Texas.
I don't know
Let's
how long
go.
I've been out then.
Shout out to
laughing
John.
about
I mean,
what
John
those
Doerr
things come up with.
Smithenstein.
Yeah, now I got you.
Kind of reminded me of John Deere, right?
I'll just say something
It's
to hopefully make it easier.
We got John Deere and John Doerr.
Yeah, I was going to say, the name John Smithenstein wasn't exactly what I would expect from Texas, but the more that I think about it, it's perfect. I love it. So
hey, thank you so much, John. We are absolutely pumped that we could get you laughing out loud, and you have one of the coolest, if not the coolest name that we've ever heard. So
that's for
shout
sure.
out to you, John.
Yeah, that's for sure. And the fact that he found us on Twitter, because we don't have a huge Twitter presence anymore. We used to post there a little more, but we've kind of faded away as time's gone to other social media. So the fact that he found us on there, hey, we appreciate it.
Yeah, shout out John. Thank you so much for listening. All right, Blake, we're going to move into the listener submitted question of the week. And this one was sent in on Instagram by Bill. So shout out to Bill for sending this question in. So we are going to be answering the following question, which says, if you had a time capsule, what would you be putting it in? What would you be putting in it and why? So I've got a really good story on this one, actually, that I've actually participated in a time capsule one time in my life. And, not a huge time capsule guy, not smart enough to kind of plan for the future, honestly.
You're not a weekend time capsuler? That's not.
That'd actually be crazy if you did one a week or something, but I don't like burying my stuff that much. I am not a squirrel.
You need to commit more crimes so you have more stuff to bury.
A fur trapper or anything, so I don't really bury a lot of things. So I did participate one time, though, and it's actually kind of a legendary story. So this takes me back to, I think, about like 2016. So this is the year that we both graduated high school. But anyway, on the baseball team's trip to California, we had a day that we went to the beach. And so, we had some kind of quirky, funny teammates and one of my really good friends, actually. So we're just along the beach, and there's this creepy picture just in a frame, just sitting on the beach facing the ocean. And so, we all kind of just thought it was haunted. We were all kind of joking around and just, like, stay away from that thing. It's haunted. Like, don't touch it, whatever. And anyway, one of the teammates in particular decides to take this, I'm talking like a full-size picture, like it would be like wall art. He decides to pick it up and take it back with him on the team bus after we're leaving the beach. And it's a picture of The Crow, which is a horror movie. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but
I have not, no. But I know what it is, yeah.
Yeah, super creepy horror movie where I think that guy that was the main actor like died after filming it or whatever, and there was like a lot of conspiracy and darkness going on after it.
So the picture you found on the beach was from this movie?
Yeah, But it was like a super scary picture of this guy, like in black and white, and it was pretty scary. So anyway, we just told this specific friend, we're like, dude, this is a bad idea. Like, you're gonna be cursed. Like, there's nothing good can happen from this. But he was just like committed to this picture. So on the way back from the beach, he's riding in a team bus, and we hit a bump, and the glass out of the frame like shatters and is like all over him. So right out of the gates, we're like, dude, you got to get rid of this picture. And I think, we drove back to Utah, we were hanging out as friends, and like we would bring this picture everywhere with us. We'd hold it up like in the windows while we were driving and like scaring people, and like we would just hold it, like had it with us like all the time. And I think the culmination was we had to watch the movie The Crow with The Crow present before we felt like we could get the curse lifted and eventually, discard it. But we didn't know how to discard it, and we were scared. So fortunately, the local high school graduation and everything are like, we got a time capsule coming up, so feel free to lock away those precious high school memories or whatever. And so we got a nice little box. We folded up the haunted picture of The Crow, and we put it in the time capsule.
I love that. That reminds me, this isn't what I would put in a time capsule, but I remembered what I put in that same time capsule. So not only is there a haunted picture of The Crow, there's also a picture of me wearing extraordinarily tight pants and leaning up against lockers and just popping my booty out, just full. I was, and I signed it, and it was a picture for photography class or something. Like, we had to do that, and then we took that one
seductive art.
As it was just, I took that one as a joke, high school, you just being stupid, and so I leaned up all seductively against the lockers, really, really was showing what I had. And I signed that thing and dropped it into the time capsule because I'm pretty sure I'd like forgotten to bring anything. So I was like, I'll just throw this in.
So you were like, I'll just give one of my business cards that I'm clearly carrying around many of.
So yeah, in
raunchy pictures of Blake.
I don't know if it was 5 years or 50 years that we were supposed to open this thing up, but
dude, I swear it was 10. So that's what I was just thinking.
Okay, yeah.
Now I figured out. I at no expense wanted to go. But I think we have to. It's going to be 2026. you and me, we're going to obviously be kind of standing off in the distance because we're not going to want to get too close for number one when both of those cursed images are.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be.
I mean, I don't know
wanna be
which
cursed.
picture is more cursed.
After you take a curse and you bury it on the ground for 10 years, I don't think that makes the evil spirits any happier. I'm pretty
No,
sure
that-
they come out with some vengeance.
That's
So,
exactly the start of every horror movie. So that's why we're going to be standing far away so we can. I definitely got to see that hilarious
You gotta be-
picture of Blake.
You got to be stopping this time capsule from coming up at all costs. This is
Yeah.
not.
We got to leave that one buried. Hopefully, everybody in our graduating class forgot where that is at because some serious trouble is coming up when that seductive picture of Blake Bushman in tight pants gets revealed to the universe.
Yeah, we don't need that to be circulating around. I'm nervous that I'm not going to end up with it at the end of that day, and then I'll just have no idea where it's at.
Yeah,
'Cause
what
I'm pretty sure
happens with
that's
the
a
stuff?
one of one copy. I don't know if there's any more out there, so it's
That's going to get released on the internet. I can't wait for that. But
yeah. No, I can tell you what I would put in a time capsule though, because I really just want to put another time capsule into it. Imagine you wait 10 years and you open up this time capsule, you know, from your high school graduation or whatever it may be, some big event. You open it up and inside of it is just another thing that's like, wait 5 more years.
that'd be the ultimate troll. And if you had the patience to like continue waiting after you waited 10 years to open the original box and you're like, you know what, I'll just wait 5 more years. Man, that's maddening right there. That is awful.
Yeah, and in the first one I'd put like a cat. Just
that would
you
smell
know.
so bad. Actually, I think it would be completely decomposed at that point. There'd just be like bone dust.
Yeah, you know, somebody gets a free pet at the end of the day. So
No, what
Yeah.
what I'm understanding now is I think the only interesting part of time capsules is actually opening them. So I don't care. Like I don't want to be at anybody's celebration of we're gonna wait 10 years to see what junk we're putting in the ground right now. I want to be there when they open. I think that would be a lot more fun. Like it's so dumb. Like let's just dig a hole, throw garbage in there. You know, at least you get to be there in 10 years and see them like dig the stuff up. I'm interested. So if you know of any time capsule openings, call me up. But I don't want to
Yeah,
I don't want to
I've
be
never-
burying anything.
I've heard of a lot of time capsule burials, but I've
Yeah.
yet to hear of a single one being opened.
Yeah, it never happens.
I think people bury these things and then forget about them. Where do you put a time capsule? Like, do they have time capsule graveyards so that it's just full of them? Like every year there's a new time capsule to open up or something.
Dude, how are we sure that somebody hasn't just gone and dug up our one from high school and already released the demons? And that's probably what caused COVID.
You heard it here first, folks.
Somebody was illegally digging up our high school time capsule in 2020, and that must have been it. That's why 2020
Yeah.
sucked.
Yeah, I'm not going to the opening of that thing. That's all I know.
If it's still buried.
Yeah, I'm not getting cursed for nothing.
Jeez, man, yeah. So there's our time capsule reactions. I don't really know there would be any other items worth burying. I think it's kind of silly, like I said
Just
before. but-
curses.
yeah. Anyway, Blake, you know, this week I've been coming across a lot of the same kind of video on social media. I don't know if this got in my feed or whatnot, but have you seen like the ice bath? Like everybody's taking ice baths in the morning now for health. Have you
Yeah.
seen this trend at all?
Yeah, I have a guy that I know. He swears by it.
Okay, I thought you were going to say you did it, and I was like, well, you better buckle up, man, because I am about to dunk all over you. No, okay. So does said friend post that on social media every day?
Not every day. I think he posts about once a week. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't.
okay.
He'll just post himself hopping in it or cracking the ice on top.
Yeah.
I don't
So
pay that close attention to it.
that is becoming an absolute pet peeve of mine because every social media you go on, you're just seeing these Neanderthal type guys. They don't just put ice in their bath. You know, they go outside. They've got a frozen trough. They went to what's the IFA Country Farm store to buy a trough just so they could do their stupid ice baths every morning. They got an axe. They don't have a single tree they're going to be cutting down, but they smack the ice with the axe, break through the ice, hop in there. They always have a tripod because they're just trying to film this, dude. That's what I'm saying. Is like it might have health benefits and it might really be good for you, but I guarantee you there is 1% of the ice bathers that are doing it off camera.
Yeah,
It's a big scam.
because I've wondered because like I typically take colder showers than most people. Like I'm not ice cold in the shower, but most people, if they took a shower at the temperature that I shower at, they would think it's cold. So I've been curious about taking an ice bath to see if I would enjoy it because I think it's like refreshing to kind of have cool water over you or whatever. Now, granted, ice bath totally different, but there is a sub 0% chance, like impossible. It would not that I would post that on social media. There's no way.
No,
I
if you're doing it, you have to. That's the rule of this trend. And you have to do it every single day. It's just ridiculous. Like, I don't want to see you jumping in the bath and then saying, this made me a better person. All of a sudden, like, my life has changed. Now I'm rich. Now I am more handsome. Now I am the best individual. I'm a good father now. Like, they're treating ice baths like a cure-all. It's crazy.
You know what I think
Snake
it really is? I think the secret of the ice bath is just that it wakes you up in the morning. Because if people are anything like me, they spend the first approximately 6 to 8 hours of being awake, tired. And so maybe they get into that ice bath and it just, wakes them up right away. And then they get a full day where they're completely awake. And instead of being like me, where maybe the last 4 hours of the day, I'm fully aware of what's going on around me. So I might need to try this. Actually, I think you're talking me into it more. The more
Gosh,
that I
dang
talk
it.
about it.
All right, well,
I will
Blake's
post
got to
it
go buy a
every-
freaking metal trough so he can take his ice baths every morning and
is,
post
is that
about
a,
how he's
is that a
new man.
requirement? I have to do
Oh,
it.
100%. 100%. You can't do it any other way, Blake. That's the only way. Or a lake, actually. So you've got to find a frozen lake. Oh, you froze up.
You froze a second for me too.
All right, you're back. Okay.
Okay.
100%. Or you got to find a frozen lake and hack with an axe through that, and that's the only two
Ooh.
places where ice baths are
Can you
permitted.
do au natural ice bath?
In a lake. You cannot in a bath. You
I
cannot.
haven't seen anybody do it in a lake, but that sounds way more impressive. And I actually live pretty close to like a pond. I might have to swing down there in the morning and take my old axe out and crack a hole open in the ice.
No, I think that would actually be a pretty funny ice bath video because I don't think you're going to be like hop in and then have like the motivational segment that most of these ice bathers do. They're like, today I'm getting in and today I'm going to make 45 cold calls and I'm going to close sales on whatever stupid product I'm selling. I think Blake would be in his skivvies and hop in and be like,
Oh yeah, no, there would be a lot of squealing. There would be so much.
I feel like that would be much better. You're not trying to play it off as I'm this macho man.
Is that our next punishment? Loser has to do an ice bath.
I mean, we do have a bracket coming up today, and I think the listeners might like to see that. So, I would be down for the funny thing. I'm not going to hop in there and start teaching you guys how to build a tech company or something.
You must be on a different side of social media. I haven't seen the motivational side of this. So no, it will just.
You send me the videos you're getting, and you're on the funny side, and I'm on the business side for some reason. But yeah, so there's my take on ice baths. I had to get that off my chest, Blake, and I'm really glad that I could. No offense to anybody that takes the ice baths. I just think maybe don't take a video of yourself saying motivational garbage. Like, just hop in and do it for your health benefits, and we'll all be fine, and the world will be a better place. So that's all I want to say on that, Blake. Like I said before, we've got a great morning drive debate bracket segment coming up. You're not going to want to miss it, so stay tuned. And we are back with another morning drive debate bracket segment. This one is going to be awesome. So this is the segment where we take outrageous topics. We each make our top 4 picks in a draft fashion, and we post on social media at PM and the AM Podcast on Instagram the polls to have the listeners vote along. So you guys are in charge of who wins this. This week's bracket is going to be intense, Blake. We've got the worst historical figures to go on a road trip with. I've got a few in mind that I think you're going to be selecting. I'm not 100% sure where you're going to go with this. I thought this one was a little difficult.
I don't know how much overlap we're going to have on these. I just have one that I really, really want. So it'll be interesting to see if you went the same direction I did on some of these. But you have the first pick, so I'll see what you're going to take.
All right. So before I do this, I know some of these picks are kind of you had to get the reasoning behind them, and so some of these picks, I might just let you kind of infer the reasoning behind, and that's what I want to do with number one. I feel like there's not really a clear number one overall pick, but the first one I thought when I brainstormed on this topic was JFK.
No, that was the one I wanted. Dang it!
I mean,
that's
everything that aimed at him, while he was driving around town. I don't want to be in that car on that road trip. You never know what's going to happen to the passenger.
You don't know how good an aim the people have. So
yeah, absolutely. I don't want to be driving. Definitely don't want to be sitting in the back seat. I just don't want to be a part of that convoy.
Great choice with JFK. That was my number one as well. When we decided what we were doing, historical figures on a road trip. That was the number one that came to my head. I'm going to go a little bit of a different route then, because I think you nailed that one. Actually, no, I'm going to double down and I'm going to take who also had a similar fate in a car, but for a different reason. That is Princess Diana.
Oh, okay. I don't even know who that is.
You don't know who that is?
No.
She died in a car crash, and it's a big conspiracy that she was killed off, and like the car crash was caused by whatever, so that Queen Elizabeth could have the throne. Basically, I don't know I don't know the actual history behind it well enough to say how accurate that is, but there's a conspiracy theory that Princess Diana was killed in the car crash. So.
I see why you're not interested in that on a road trip. There's just too much going on for you.
I don't want to be involved in a car with somebody who had a conspiracy against them to get them killed in the car crash. That's all I know.
Well, yeah, that's definitely not road trip material, I would say.
No.
Too much going on. All right, so the rest of these I don't think are quite as violent, at least on my list, so I'll be happy to go on to my third pick. And I know you're going to be absolutely so mad when I take this, Blake. We have heard you absolutely destroy this person in several different of our bracket and segment debates. And so with number 3, for the sake of just being a awful road trip companion, very boring the whole way, especially on a long drive, I'm going to take Helen Keller. I knew you would love that pick, Blake.
Yeah, no, she's the worst. Here's the good news. She's not actually blind or deaf. Or maybe she is, and she would just be a total bore. But she's not driving the car, that's for sure, because she would never do that.
Yeah,
she might lie,
way.
and when you get to your destination, be like, I totally just drove that.
I was so excited when I wrote that one down because I was like, I know Blake is about to just go off on this one. He is 100%. He's probably going to vote for that one in the polls.
Yeah, no, she's the worst. She's the worst. Ironically, I actually didn't have Helen Keller on my list, and
no way.
I would have taken her second had I thought of her. I just choose to purge her from my mind. But I will take another female historical figure, one that actually is pretty well known for flying the plane, unlike Helen Keller, and that is Amelia Earhart.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know how much you know about her, but she went on a trip and didn't come back, so I don't want to go anywhere with her.
You're trying to get that navigation right. You got to have a co-pilot that can lead you home.
I don't want to go anywhere with somebody who got lost forever.
Indefinitely, yeah.
So
that's a pretty hard task.
Yeah, so I will not be going on a road trip with Amelia Earhart.
Yeah, that's a good pick. And Blake is kind of digging deep into the conspiracies on his first
I'm a history guy. All right?
You're a conspiracy guy with a history little segment.
Amelia Earhart is not a conspiracy. That's just
I've heard some conspiracies involved around that.
Okay.
All right, we'll see what other conspiracy theories you can dive into for your next pick. But before we get there, I'm taking somebody for a completely different reason. And I think a very important part of road trips is kind of the people you're with, because they can set the vibe, in a number of different ways. But one of those ways that's really important is something near and dear to our society, which is the aux cord. So for this next person, I'm going off of the fact that they would be absolutely terrible if you handed them the modern day aux and allowed them to play their own music. And so I will be taking Beethoven as a terrible road trip companion with my next pick.
That'd be so peaceful.
No.
I'd be relaxed, bro. That's
No, you're telling me, let's say it's an 8-hour drive, you want to listen to Beethoven the entire time? I think I would end up swerving off the road. That is terrible.
I couldn't drive because I'd be sleeping, but
Exactly.
I'd make Beethoven drive because he'd be really in his zone. I get it though. I don't know. I think he has like not that many actually like songs that anybody would know, like anybody that's not super into classical music. And so you probably hit like one song and then you'd be hearing what sounds like the same song for the next the next couple hours.
I mean, even if he mixed it up and threw some of his buddies' music on that playlist, like Mozart or that's the only person I know, but still super boring. So avoid at all costs.
Okay. I'm going to go with somebody who I believe would just be obnoxious to have, because there's a couple different ways you can go. Death is the first way we went. We don't want to die. I don't want to get lost. You don't want to get annoyed. And I'm going to go with somebody I would find to be annoying, but that's because they have a complex, and that would be Napoleon Bonaparte.
Oh, okay.
Because he is a little man, and I don't want his car seat getting in my way.
You don't want his ego slowing you down, is what I'm hearing.
I mean, he's also just according to the history books, a super like not pleasant guy to be around.
Yeah.
But mainly it's just because he's small. So that's why.
Yeah, and I mean, in terms of backseat driver, you're probably going to get a lot of criticisms.
yeah.
He's like, hey, you're going a little too slow for my
he'll
life.
always think he could do it better.
Yeah. It would be like, doing like a driver's ed class, or driving with your parents when as soon as you brake like a second too late, it's like crisis mode. So yeah, I could definitely see that as well. So that's a really good pick there, Blake. You're leaving me with one last pick to go. I've got a few, so we'll maybe have to visit some honorable mentions at the end. But I am going to go back to the annoying factor and take somebody who, to me, potentially is more annoying than Beethoven and his music, and I will go with William Shakespeare.
Man, that was my next pick.
Oh, I'm glad I got it.
That was it.
I am not a fan of Shakespeare or any of his works. Had to read numerous of them in school. I don't think I've ever had the absolute pain of watching one live, fortunately. But, just not interested in where that conversation would go. Wherefore art thou driving to? I couldn't understand.
You don't want somebody in the back. Backseat drivers are bad enough. You don't want an iambic pentameter backseat driver.
Wherefore art thou heading, dearest Portero? Yeah. Steer clear of that. That would be terrible. That would be awesome.
No. Great choice. I was going to go with him before Napoleon, but I really wanted to get a little guy in the car seat because that would be obnoxious.
For sure.
With my last pick, I got a couple options here, and it's really double dipping on things that we kind of already went with. But I'm going to go with Christopher Columbus.
Oh, okay. I definitely thought of that one.
And that is along the same lines as Amelia Earhart, because do you know where he was trying to go? He was trying to get to India and just stumbled across the Americas. The dude was lost, okay? Yeah. So I don't want somebody who ended up in the wrong continent to be anywhere near me on a road trip. Also, I don't think he was that great of a dude in general.
No, yeah, I was going to say, I think maybe for many factors, you take a wrong turn and he just decides to kill you or something. You got to be.
Yeah, we better not drive through a reservation. So.
Oh, Blake, that was by far the worst comment ever made on this podcast. Yeah, Christopher Columbus was a terrible human being. So we're definitely trying to steer clear of all of these people on our road trip. As we said before, voting on Instagram will take place starting Tuesday at PM in the AM podcast. So make sure you're over there following us so you can follow along with the polls. Blake, did you have any honorable mentions that you thought are worth sharing?
The only other person I had on my list was King Henry VIII.
Again,
he was just
you go over to Europe, and I have no idea.
He was the dude who beheaded a bunch of people.
Oh.
So
Yeah,
I just didn't want to get on his last nerve and end up on the chopping block.
All
What
right,
about you?
yeah. I had Edgar Allan Poe and Genghis Khan, as well as Vincent van Gogh. So people that I just thought maybe wouldn't be super pleasant, and also you just don't want to be in the car with a guy that cuts off his ear. So
Yeah. Now, what do you have against Edgar Allan Poe?
I think that would be a really creepy drive. I just think
He's a little creepy.
the
That's
banter in
fair.
that conversation, that would just be weird. Yeah, his books are weird. His stuff's
And-
spooky. I'm not
Yeah,
about that.
Genghis Khan, actually, I had thought of. I just forgot to put him onto my list. But yeah, I think we also need to give all of the dictators a shout out.
Yeah, honestly.
We don't want to go on a. I chose not to elect Hitler as an option.
Yeah,
I don't
I
want to be
wanted
in the
to
car
steer
with
clear
him
as well.
either. Let's be clear.
Yeah, that was just like too obvious. Like I didn't even want
Yeah.
to bring it up. So there's our morning drive debate bracket of the week. Thanks to everybody that's tuned into this episode. A little update on the hoodies that we did. So our first merch drop, we got the hoodies. We took them to the print shop. They're going to be there for about 2 to 3 weeks, and then we will have them to distribute to you guys. Shout out to everybody that ordered. We're really excited. And we have new stickers as well, Blake. So if you are getting a hoodie, we're going to be throwing in the new sticker in there for free as well with those hoodies. If you're not and you just want a new sticker, which they look pretty sweet, feel free to reach out via DM and we will send that to you at no cost. We just want to give you guys free merch just to say thanks for listening to the show. And we will know if you actually listen to the end if you ask us for a sticker. So that'll be kind of cool to tell who's actually listening to the end, because those are probably the people that, are subscribed, who are liking our stuff on Instagram and YouTube and whatnot. So shout out to those folks, and thanks for tuning in. Blake, you got anything for the listeners?
That's it.
All right. Well, we will catch you guys next
Congrats
week.
on making it all the
Peace
way
out.
to the end. We hope you enjoyed the show. You are now officially part of the PM and the AM fan base, the morning people, and we are super pumped to have you here. Now that you're a part of the crew, please share the episode with a friend, and make sure to check out the rest of our shows and social media content for more hilarious brackets, crazy questions, and an overall great time. Thanks for listening. It truly means a lot to us, and we'll catch you guys next week.